Okay, so welcome again, everybody. In case this is one of your first classes, I wanted to take a couple of minutes to introduce myself and Culikid to you. So Culikid is a nonprofit that provides healthy culinary programs for people of all abilities. And we focus on cooking, but also on healthy habits and social and independent skills. My name is Kelly. I'll be facilitating and answering your questions in the chat and out loud. And we're joined by Chef Sammy, who's going to lead us through our cooking demo.
Hi, everyone.
As I mentioned, this is being recorded. So if you don't wish for your face to be in the recording.
Hi there. You ready?
Hi, Enrique. I'm so ready. Are you?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Just give me a couple more minutes and then we're going to get started with our first steps. So if you don't want your face to be in the recording, you can turn your camera off, but it's really helpful for us to be able to see what you're cooking if you're okay with keeping it on so we can see what step you're on. And if you have any questions, like you want to show us how something looks. So that would be great, but it's totally up to you. We're also going to take some screenshots, which you might post on social media. So if you prefer for your face to not be in that, you can let us know in the chat and I can edit those and cover those up before we post them. So I also wanted to let you know that most of you are muted right now. You'll stay muted throughout the whole class, but you're welcome to unmute yourself to ask questions as we go along. And you can also use the chat. So we can use the chat right now to practice if you haven't done it before. So you can say your name and where you're from right now. I'm starting us off there. So you can see I'm Kelly from New York City, and you can all type in to say hello and introduce yourselves to everybody else in the class. I want to let you know about our upcoming classes. We have two right now that are planned. We have one that's going to be an evening, which is we're going to make black bean burgers on October 20th. So that will be an evening weekday class. And then we have one on October 31st, which is our Halloween class. We're going to be making dirt cups with some spooky Halloween themed toppings. So I'm going to send those links a little bit later. I hope you join us. And lastly, if you're cooking with somebody at home, ask them to take pictures and you can send them to us or tag us in them on social media because we'd love to see how things look on your end and how your creations come out and all the fun that you're having. So all of that being said, hi, Ryu. I see you introduced yourself. Ryu's from Canada, so we got people all over the country and the globe today, which is really awesome. So welcome to everybody. I'm going to hand it over to Chef Sammy, who is going to get us started with our first step so we can just jump into it and have fun. And also hi to August and Emma. I'm just letting one more person in right before you get started. Sammy, I'll give you a cue when they're on.
It's a boy, Emmett.
Emmett, my apologies. August and Emmett. Thank you. Yeah, I want to make sure I get everybody's names right. So if you also have a name that is somebody else in your Zoom, you want to make sure we call you by that name. You can change your names there as well, or correct me if I misspeak. So Sammy, take it away.
Wonderful. Hi, everyone. So we're making a couple of different things today. First, we'll make our pizza muffins, and then we will make our ranch dressing, and then we'll slice up some cucumbers. So if you're in school or enjoying them for lunch later, you can have it all ready to go. Okay, so for our pizza muffins, we'll need a muffin tin. You need some sort of spray or grease. You can use your hand if you don't have a sort of cooking spray, just to grease the pan. Biscuits or biscuits or the croissants work too if you have those. Mozzarella, some sauce, pizza sauce, and pepperoni. Those are the ingredients we'll need for now. And then we'll also need some oven mitts if you are using the oven, or if an adult is doing it, that's fine. And some measuring spoons, okay? So first steps first, let's preheat our ovens to 425 degrees.
425 degrees. 425.
And once you preheat, I see some people moving towards their ovens, then we can get started. So after
Are we
your
cooking
oven,
it at 425 degrees?
yes, you're preheating your oven to 425 degrees. And
So we
then,
typically ask for, sorry, I was just gonna say, in case
Yep.
you haven't done a class with us or haven't done one in a while, we ask for a thumbs up when you're done with a step. So go ahead and give me a thumbs up if your oven is preheated and you're ready for the next step.
Mhm.
Awesome. I think most people are, so let's carry on.
Perfect. So our other prep step is to spray our spray or oil our muffin tins for baking. This should make about 10 muffins, more or less. You just spray it. Make sure you get all the edges so your muffins don't get stuck in there.
Thanks, Molly. The thumbs up. Thanks, Enrique. See some spraying still going on, so we're gonna wait just another minute.
Mm.
Okay. Looks like we're
Awesome.
ready.
Perfect.
Oh, question actually from Rio before we move on. Do we have to oil if it is a silicone pan?
I don't think so. No, I don't typically use silicone pans, so, but whenever I do, they pop out right easily, so you should be okay.
Yeah, I think especially for something like the biscuits that are so buttery too, that I think it should come out fine.
Yeah. Okay. So next, if you're using a can of biscuits, it's time to open them. You can follow the instructions on the can. I think they all are generally the same, but you have to peel the skin off, and it does make a loud noise, just so everyone is aware. So you peel it. Then there's a little seam that you press, or you can like bang it, which is what I usually do. But let's see. Oh, there you go. Mine just opened. So you can see my can is unfurling a little bit. And my biscuit pack has 8 in them. I'm not sure if anyone's sizes range, but.
I see a lot of biscuits opening and opened, so it looks like we're all caught up. But if anybody needs more time, just give me a little wave that we should wait for you.
Awesome. And you can take them apart if you want. Again, mine has 8. Or it should have 8. Oh yeah, there's 8. So once you have your biscuits all ready to go, give me a thumbs up. I see one from Enrique.
Yep. And Molly and Augustin, and then I see working on it, but I think I got a thumbs up too, so I think they're almost ready. Waiting for
Perfect.
Ryu. And also, even though your cameras are off, you can give us thumbs up with the Zoom reactions or let us know in the chat. If we don't see or hear from you and everybody else is done, we'll assume that you're ready. But again, if you need more time, you just let us know. So hi, Kathleen and Veronica. We just got started. We preheated our ovens to 425 and we've opened up our biscuits.
I know how.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so now we just have to slightly press our biscuits into each cup. So 1 biscuit per cup, and I think you can all see my muffin tin over here. So actually, sorry, I skipped a step. You get your biscuits and you want to flatten them in your hand a little bit first so you can get a nice crusty feel. So one by one, we flatten them a little bit. And I'll just demonstrate how to do this all. So you flatten them, you see, nice and flat. And then we'll press them into our cups like this. So it's okay if the sides are a little, and I'll show you closer here. It's okay if the sides are a little on the top. They don't all have to be like sunken in, but you want to press them into your muffin tin, like a little cup. You can use your thumbs, press around in a circle, press down, and it's okay. Oh.
No, I was gonna say, it looks like we are going to be putting some fillings inside. Is that right?
Yes.
So just to give an idea of what you're going for.
Yeah, we are putting our fillings inside. And while we're pressing all of our biscuits, if you notice some of them that we already pressed in start to rise again, you can just put your thumb down and put it right back in. Okay? So there's one, and then each one, remember, you flatten. Oops, almost dropped that one. And then you press into your muffin tins.
Press that into your muffin tins. Press that into your muffin tins.
Flatten.
Okay, so you're kind of doing 2 steps at once for all of your biscuits. Flatten them out and press them into your muffin tin. And if you're somebody who doesn't like to touch food or doesn't like touching that texture of the biscuit, you can flatten it on your cutting board with another tool.
And you can use a spoon to press into the muffin tins if you don't want to use your hands. That's totally fine. So we press.
Okay, welcome to who just joined us. I just want to let you know what step we're up to. We've preheated our ovens to 425 degrees, sprayed our muffin tins, and now we are just flattening our biscuits and pressing them into our muffin tins. So Sammy, when you're done with that, maybe you could show that one up close again to show the kind of cups that we're making.
Totally. Okay, so I have 6 of my biscuits in there. I squeeze them between my hands a little bit to flatten them out. And then I press them inside of the muffin tin. So you want to have like a little cup essentially in there. And you can see maybe from this angle how in the middle I just press it down. So it's okay if the sides are a little higher around the muffin, but we want to put our sauce and our cheese and our pepperoni in these little parts later. So, oh, nice job, August and Emmett. I have 2 more to go. And when you're done, you can give us a thumbs up so we know.
Nice, thank you.
Okay, and now here's my last one.
Thanks, Ripley.
Okay. Okay. So my oven just beeped to let me know that it's at 425 degrees. Again, if your oven's not preheated, just make sure it is. Okay. So how are we with our biscuits in our pan?
I think I've only seen 1 thumbs up from August and Emmett. And, you know, they've got a lot of teamwork over there. So it might be taking everyone else a little bit longer. Veronica, was that a thumbs up as well? Awesome. Okay, so Veronica, Ripley, and Ryu. So we're waiting for just a handful more people.
Awesome. So if you want now, we can just gather our next ingredients or make sure they're close by if you're waiting. We'll need our pizza sauce, some measuring spoons, pepperoni, and mozzarella cheese.
Thanks, Molly. Saw your thumbs up. Just wanted to acknowledge you. And so Enrique, how are you doing?
Holly?
Yep. Sorry, was there a question?
Yeah. It's okay. We saw it.
No, I don't think so. Okay, I think that's everybody. Again, if I missed you, just like give us a shout or a wave that you need us to wait. So looks like we're ready for next steps.
Awesome. Okay. So first in our pizza, we need to add our sauce. So I'm gonna open mine up here and we'll be adding 1 tablespoon of sauce into each biscuit. I can show you here. So I have my sauce, I have my tablespoon, just gonna fill it up. And I'm only lifting it up just to show you so you don't have to do what I'm doing in terms of lifting it. But so I have my 1 thing and I pour it right in the middle in the little cups we made. You see? And we need to do that for each of our biscuits, okay?
Nice job, everyone. Those look great.
Okay. So all my sauce is in, and when all your sauce is in, please give a thumbs up.
Thanks, Eve. So thumbs up. And Enrique, thank you. Okay, thanks, August and Emmett. And Molly. And Rio, do you need any more time? Are you done with sauce? Thumbs up when you are, let me know. And thanks. And Sheila? Oh, I think your screen is actually frozen. Nice job, those look fantastic. Okay, I think we can go to the next step.
Okay, so our next step is to add our cheese. Now, the recipe calls for shredded cheese, or if you have a big ball of mozzarella cheese, you can let us know. I have these little balls of mozzarella cheese here, but essentially you just want to add 1 tablespoon again of our mozzarella cheese on top of our sauce. So if you have the shredded cheese,
I was just gonna say if you're measuring that out, you if you're using the same measuring spoon, and you just have to give it a rinse and a clean so you don't get sauce on your cheese.
Yeah, so if you're using your shredded cheese, you should be able to measure it. If you have tiny balls like me, I'll probably add 2 of them. And if you have a big pizza mozzarella, we can just cut it. Just let us know and I'll guide you through that.
Okay, I'm seeing a couple with shredded cheese. So I don't know about anybody else, but whoever I can see, it looks like they're working on measuring some shredded cheese.
Wonderful, and you can add 1 tablespoon right on top of the tomato sauce. I might actually add 3 to mine just because I like cheese.
Yeah, I see August and Emmett have what I would call a heaping tablespoon, which is fantastic. I would probably do the same thing because I love cheese as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And once you're done with your cheese, give us a thumbs up.
Thanks, Enrique. Yeah, and this is just to help guide you. It can be, this is something that we call, thanks, Veronica, something we call eyeballing, where you could do the amount of cheese that you want, but the tablespoon is a guide. So start with that, and then you can decide, I want a little bit less, I want a little bit more, or now I know how much it is, and I'll just, you know, estimate for each one. Thanks for you for your thumbs up. Okay, I think August and Emmett are done too. I don't know if I missed your thumbs up. Are you? Yep. Okay, cool. And then Molly, just give me a thumbs up when you're ready as well. And while we're waiting just a minute, so in the recipe, we had said that you can include pizza, pepperoni, or your other favorite pizza topping. So is anybody using something other than pepperoni or keeping it plain? Let us know.
Yes, you can also add some seasonings if you feel so inclined, if you like garlic powder, or if you happen to like it a little spicy, you can add some red pepper flakes. Up to you. It's very versatile. And other toppings could look like, you know, any of you kids like olives, you can add black olives, you can add bacon bits, you can add almost any vegetable, I would say. But you can, it's really flexible.
So I think everybody is ready for the topping step.
Okay, wonderful. So if you found many pepperonis, then that's really cool. I tried to look, but I couldn't find them. So I just have regular size pepperonis. And if you want, you can break them up, or you can just put it right on top of your pizza. You might want to like tuck it in a little bit. If you can see here, it might be a little harder to see now that I have my sauce, but I just put my pepperoni kind of nestled into the sauce and in between the cheese, just so it can bake alongside the other stuff. Because if it's right on top, then it might crisp up and not really be so incorporated. So just you kind of tuck it in a little bit, like tuck it in sleep. It's okay if it sticks out a little bit. And if you want, you can rip if you have pepperoni the same size as mine, you could just rip it into smaller pieces, and you can put those around as well, or just keep it one large piece. Really up to you.
Okay, I saw a thumbs up already from Enrique. That means you're done with your pepperoni? Yep, cool. Okay, awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you rip them up, you have, you know, a little more pepperoni probably in each bite. It might be easier to add in between your cheese and your sauce.
And thanks, Eve, for the thumbs up as well. And August and Emmett gave a thumbs up, and Molly.
Oh, everyone's doing such a good job. Okay. So when your pepperonis are all in, and I just put my last one in, you can put them in your oven with the help of an adult nearby. And make sure you use your oven mitts and stand back once you put them in, and we can bake them for about 11 minutes, and then we'll check to see how they're looking. Because of our biscuits and all the sauce we added, might need a little more time, but we want them to be a nice golden brown color. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic powder to mine. And make sure you set your oven timers once you put it in, okay? Put it for 11 minutes.
I'm gonna actually set a timer here for us. Sammy, once I see you go in, that will be my cue. So that way we can pause class all
Perfect.
together and check our muffin. So if we can all go in around the same time, we can do it all together.
Perfect.
Otherwise, make sure to set your own timers and you can be checking it on your own.
Wonderful. Okay, mine is going in. I have my oven mitts on. 1. And I open my oven. I'm gonna stand back to make sure I'm extra safe. Grab them and then slide them in. I'm putting mine on the middle rack, but I think any rack will be just fine. Okay. So my timer is going on for 11 minutes. Okay. So now, while we're transitioning to our next step,
Sorry.
we're gonna do a little bit of multitasking, but first let's put away our cheese and our sauce and our pepperonis, and clear our workspace if you haven't already.
So once you have your muffins in the oven and you have a clear workspace ready for the next recipe, give me a thumbs up. I see some already. Thanks, August and Emmett and Eve and Sheila. Thank you. So speedy, everybody. I feel like we're flying through this. Our next recipe is going to include a lot of measuring. So that's our next thing. It's going to be a lot of different measuring. So make sure you have some clean measuring cups and measuring spoons ready.
Okay.
Rio, are you ready for next steps? Yep. Okay, awesome. And Molly? Thumbs up. Are you ready? Okay, cool. And what about Veronica? Awesome. Ready? And I think Enrique, you gave me a thumbs up a while ago. You're ready too, right? Awesome. We're ready.
Okay. So first, let's make sure we have some measuring cups. We'll need a 1/2 cup measuring cup. Okay. And our first ingredient will be mayonnaise. And we'll add, oh, and if you have a large bowl, make sure you have, this is brand new, so I have to open it. We can put a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise into our bowl.
So measuring this is a little bit different from measuring other things because you'll likely need a spoon. So it's not just as simple as just pouring it in. So just take a spoon and scoop until you fill up your measuring cup, and then use your same spoon to scoop it up into your bowl.
Sorry, that took me a while to open. And I will grab a spoon as well. Okay, so I have my measurement. And then our next ingredient, just so everyone knows, is sour cream. And we'll add another 1/2 cup of sour cream into our mixture.
Okay, and that will be in the same measurement kind of way. So you're going to measure 1/2, scoop it into your 1/2 cup, and then add it to your bowl. And when you have both of those things, give us a thumbs up so we know we're all on the same page. So when you have mayonnaise and sour cream in your bowl.
How much sour cream?
Another 1/2 cup as well.
Okay.
So I have mayonnaise and sour cream in my bowl now.
Okay, so as a reminder, when you have mayo and sour cream in your bowl, give us a thumbs up. Enrique, awesome job. Awesome, I think that was a thumbs up from Eve as well.
Perfect.
See everybody working away. Sheila. Molly, thank you. Thanks, Veronica. Who are we waiting for? Rio? Thumbs up, are you done? Yeah, okay. I think that we're all on the same page.
Awesome. So before we put away our 1/2 cup measuring cup, we just need to add a 1/2 cup of milk or buttermilk. I'm using milk, but if you have buttermilk, you can definitely use that. Okay, so that is, we don't need our cup measure anymore, but we do need some measuring spoons. And just so we know what spices we're using for our ranch dressing, and you can have them nearby. We'll have some dried dill weed, dried parsley, dried chives, onion powder, garlic powder, sea salt, black pepper, and then we'll squeeze some lemon. It's okay if you don't have one of the spices. It's a very flexible recipe, so you can just skip it or add something else you might like instead.
Yeah,
Or you can add
let them know that they can leave 1 or 2 out, but probably wouldn't want to leave all of them out.
Right.
So yeah, adding a lot of spices in here, grab the ones you have, and it's probably fine if you don't have 1 or 2.
Perfect.
Okay, so once you have your milk or buttermilk in and you're ready for some spice measuring, let us know by giving us a thumbs up. Enrique, Molly, Ryu. Great, waiting for a couple more people. Thanks, Sheila. Thanks, Molly again. I see that Eve is going in. Great. I think Veronica just went in. Veronica, you have milk in your bowl too? Awesome. I think I see, okay, August and Emma going in. I think that's everyone.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to say what I'm using and follow what the recipe says. But again, if it doesn't apply to you or you're not interested in using that spice, you can skip it. So the first spice that we're adding is dried dill weed, and that's 1 teaspoon.
And there's going to be a lot of measurements, so I don't want anybody to feel like you missed something. So definitely ask us if you missed anything, but I'm also writing them all in the chat. So it's 1 teaspoon of dried dill weed. And I also saw Eve doing some smelling, and so that's a great idea too. So you can get an idea of what some of these herbs are going to smell like. Go ahead and smell them beforehand, especially if it's something new to you. It's going to give you a hint at what it's going to taste like.
Okay. And after we have our dill weed, we'll need 1/2 a teaspoon of dried parsley.
We're going to use the 1/2 teaspoon a couple of times, so just wipe it off in between your spices. So let me know with a thumbs up when you have the dill and the parsley in your bowl. Okay, Molly, Eve. see some still working, so that's fine.
Wonderful. And just so we're not forgetting about our pizza muffins in our oven, my timer has 3 minutes left. So just make sure you're aware of how much time you might have left. Okay.
Okay. Just was looking at my timer as well, so I'm sorry if I missed some thumbs up. I think everybody looks like they're done with that step, so
Awesome. So the
we
next
can move
step,
on.
is to add half a teaspoon of dried chives. I have some fresh chives here because I couldn't find any dried chives, so I'm just going to add a couple of those.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one is not one that I use very often or really knew that came dried. So that would be the one that I would skip if I was cooking along. But if you have them, it's awesome. If you have fresh, that's cool. Another time, if you made this on your own, you could
I don't
also do
have
this.
dry chives.
That's
Okay,
okay.
you can skip it. So we're doing dry just to work on some measuring and make it go a little bit faster, but you could totally do this with some fresh herbs as well if you did this again.
Yep. Okay, so after the dried chives, we'll do half a teaspoon of garlic powder.
I just want to point out, because I see somebody using the fresh chives as you are, Sammy, and obviously I know everybody can see you, but I
Half
just want to
spoon
point
of
out.
garlic powder, right?
Yep,
half
half
teaspoon.
teaspoon
Half
garlic
spoon,
powder.
1 spoon, or 1. Oh, thank you.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome.
I just typed it in the chat. But using scissors like Sammy is for the chives is such a great idea in the kitchen, especially for younger chefs who might know how to use scissors, but maybe don't know how to use a knife yet. So you can totally be doing that as well with chives, with other herbs, and even with some thicker ingredients if you have the pressure. So that's our timer.
Yep.
And I was thinking of like celery.
Yeah, my timer just went off and they're looking pretty good, so I'm gonna take them out. So I'm gonna pause on the ranch dressing for just 1 second while I remove these from the oven. Mine had a little overflow, but that's okay.
Let's see. Ooh, those really puffed up and look really nice.
Yeah. So they're nice and golden. Most of my cheese is melted. And I'll just let them sit. Don't touch it like I am. That's not what you should do when things come straight out of the oven. But I'm just gonna let them sit and cool for a couple minutes. And I turn my oven off.
Awesome. Those look great.
Okay. So after we add our garlic powder, which is half a teaspoon, we'll need to move to a smaller teaspoon if you have it on your
can we pause for 1 minute?
Oh.
So I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page because we did those 2 ingredients and then we also potentially have stuff coming out of oven. So if you've taken your muffins out of the oven or checked them with your, or if your timer is on a different timer, ignore that. And on your chives and on your garlic powder, give us a thumbs up. Okay. August and Emmett, thank you. And Enrique.
We did the garlic powder. Now what's next?
Just 1 minute, please, because I want to make sure everybody else is with us too. I saw thumbs up from Molly, Sheila, and Eve. Veronica, okay, awesome. And Rio might be in the oven. Rio, let us know if you're ready when you can. Awesome, thumbs up. Okay, so now we're ready for our next ingredient. You guys are so speedy today.
Okay, so our next ingredient is on a smaller measuring spoon, which is our 1/4 teaspoon, which is 1/4. And we are adding a teaspoon, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, which I don't have, so that's one I will skip.
Oh, really nice job with the measuring. I saw August and Emmett doing the leveling off. So that's really awesome. Great job, everyone. I think we can give them one more. A lot of people are giving me thumbs up anyway, and then we can check
Wonderful.
in.
So our next measurement is another 1/4 teaspoon, but of salt.
One teaspoon of salt, right?
1/4 teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
I just typed it into the chat. It's the same one you used for the onion powder, 1/4. It's one of the smallest, either your smallest or second smallest.
And our next ingredient is pepper. And this calls for 1/8 teaspoon. A lot of people might not have teaspoons that go that small. So you can practice what Kelly said about eyeballing again and use your 1/4 teaspoon, but fill it up halfway. My pepper comes in a grinder. So if yours is in the grinder too, you might want to give it just 2 cranks instead of measuring. So I'm doing 1, 2 of black pepper.
Okay, so a couple of cranks if you have a grinder, an 1/8 teaspoon if you have that measuring spoon, or half of your 1/4 teaspoon. Okay, or you can just eyeball and just do a little sprinkle. So it's all to taste and whatever you feel is best. So now that's all of our spices. So once you have all of those in, you have your onion powder, the salt and the pepper and everything else that we mentioned earlier. Give us a thumbs up so we know you're ready for the next step. Molly, Sheila, Eve, nice. Veronica, great. August and Emmett, Enrique. And Rio, give me a thumbs up when you can come back to the screen and let us know. Again, so speedy. I'm so impressed with all of you. You must be very organized and talented chefs over there. Nice, Rio. I think we're ready.
Perfect. So our next ingredient is our lemon, and you'll just need half a lemon here, and a citrus squeezer if you have it, and you can squeeze all that juice into our mixture here.
So if you don't have a citrus squeezer, you might get seeds when you squeeze. So you can squeeze it into a separate bowl first and scoop out the seeds, or you can squeeze it over your hand and your fingers will actually catch the seeds for you. So you want to make sure, because it's not very pleasant to chomp down on a lemon seed. So you want to make sure not to get that into your ranch mixture.
Okay, and I see some thumbs. So once you add your lemon juice, you can get a fork or a whisk, and we're going to mix all of our ingredients together that are in the bowl. So a way you can do that, you can hold your bowl with one hand, and with the other hand, just stir it all together until it's nice and smooth and combined. Mine is pretty combined. I'm just mixing it a little more. I noticed some of my seasonings have moved outside of the mixture on the side of the bowl. So I'm just scraping the sides of the bowl with my whisk to make sure everything's inside the mixture and not stuck to the bowl. And once you are done with that, you can put your ranch dressing in the refrigerator. Now this dressing will keep for about a week. You can put it in a mason jar or something with a lid, and you can use it any way you would use ranch dressing. So I'll put mine in my fridge.
And also you can go ahead and give it a taste to see what you think, especially if you maybe left some of your spices out and wanted to see if you wanted to add any others. Oh, can I use lemon juice from a bottle? Totally. So
Yes.
the measurement for that, I think, is about a tablespoon.
Yep.
So yeah, totally can do that. Go ahead and taste your ranch dressing, put it into a jar, put it in the fridge. And then what are some ways that you would use them? Because we're using them today where we're going to chop up some cucumbers to dip it in, but how else are you going to use them? By them, I mean your ranch dressing.
I know some people like ranch dressing on top of their pizzas. You can even put some on top of your pizza muffin or in a salad with other vegetables, not just cucumbers.
I was thinking on a sandwich.
Oh yeah,
that sounds good.
That does sound good.
So yeah, because you have this whole jar of ranch dressing that you need to figure out how to use. I see some people, still working on mixing, still putting their dressing into their bowls and jars and all of that. But when you have done that, you've put your ranch dressing away, you've tidied up your station, and you're ready to cut up some cucumbers. Give us a thumbs up. Okay, thanks, Molly and Eve. Thanks, Enrique. I think a lot of other people are done too. August and Emmett, you guys are good to move on. And Veronica, Sheila, thank you. Ryu, awesome. We're all ready for some cucumber chopping.
Wonderful. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways of how to cut your cucumbers. You can practice the different cuts with me, or you can just watch and learn. Cucumbers can keep in the fridge, one slice in an air safe container for, just keep an eye on them. But depending on your fridge, about, 2 or 3 days. Cool. So I have small cucumbers here. Everyone's might vary in size. So first I'll show you how to cut them into spears. So with my small cucumber here, you want to make sure you have a sturdy ground.
Excuse me.
Yes.
The cucumber was cut it up ready. Was already cut it.
Am I allowed to just bite this spot?
That's okay if your cucumber is already cut.
My cucumber is ready for cutting.
Oh, it's ready for cutting.
My mom cut it. So I'm ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. You're welcome. Perfect. Okay, so for those of us who have some cucumbers to cut, I'll show you how to do spears. So you want to cut your cucumber the long way. So from the top to the bottom. And if you have a really big cucumber, you can cut it in half this way, just so it's a little easier to cut. But since I have a little one, I'm just going to cut it from the top. And I'll bring my knife all the way down to the bottom. So I have 2 long slices. And then I'll cut one of my slices again from the top to the bottom. And then I have some spears. So that's one way. You can just dip it into your, these are a little, not the same size, but that's okay. So if you want to keep them nice and long, so you can have some room to grab them with your hand, you can cut them into 4s the long way. Just dip it into your ranch and chow down. So that's one way.
And again, if you had a full-size cucumber, you would cut that in half first, probably, and then and then do those.
Right.
Yeah.
So another way to cut them is just into slices. And if you have a little lunchbox, this might fit better depending on what size it is. So you can cut off the end, have that piece, and you can cut it into little slices. So you'll just keep going. So instead of cutting the long way, now we're cutting horizontally, or our cucumber is horizontal at least. And we'll just keep going and cut until we get to the end of our cucumber. That's one way. And the last way is a little different, I would say. So this one, we're gonna make a spiral. So you might not have your tools in front of you, but if you just want to watch me. So I have a long wooden skewer stick, and I'm going to insert that in my cucumber and try to push it all the way through to the other side. Oh, it came out the wrong side, so let's keep going until it comes out of the top. Okay, so you see I have my cucumber on a stick. Looks kind of funny. Okay. So now I'm using a different knife than my Culikid knife just to demonstrate. So I have my knife at the tip of the cucumber. I'll show you. I don't know if this is better for you to see. But you notice when I was cutting the slices, my knife was straight, and now my knife is at a little bit of an angle. And I'll make my first cut until I hit the side of the skewer, and I'm just gonna roll it around. And I'm keeping my knife at an angle. I don't know if y'all can see. Oops. So you gotta keep your knife at an angle and continue to roll your cucumber. I think I messed mine up slightly, but my angle got a little messed. And keep it rolling around.
Right, and your knife is pressed all the way down to your skewer right now, right?
Yeah, so it's leaning against the skewer. So the skewer helps it not go all the way through. And when you have it at an angle, rather than straight, it can, oops, go all the way around. So it gets a little harder to turn once some of it is cut. So you see? Until you get to the other side. And then you can pull your skewer out, and then you have like a sort of spiral. You can do it a little thinner, as it was intended to be a little thinner. Here, I'll just, and then you have a little cucumber spiral. So the width can really vary. And then you can toss it into your ranch dressing and slingy it into your mouth.
That's so cool.
Yep.
Nice, Eve. You've made a spiral too. So you do need the skewer to do that, or you'd have to really be in real control of your knife. I think it'd be pretty tricky. So if you have a skewer, you can play with that either now or another time. We are proponents of playing with your food, so we're not against that. We think it's fun to make fun shapes and play around. So you can cut up your cucumbers however you want, the spears, the little circles, or you can play around and do some spirals. Does anybody have any questions as they're finishing up with their cucumbers or anything else? Okay. All right, I think that we are all set then. You've made your pizza muffins, you've made your ranch dressing, you've cut up your cucumbers, and if you're still working on cutting up cucumbers, we've seen that you all are great chefs and can handle that on your own. So if you do have questions though, as you're finishing up, let us know. We will be sending an email tomorrow or on Tuesday with some of the links I sent in the chat with the recipes in case you didn't get them yet. And all of that good stuff. So look out for that and you'll see the recipes and links to sign up for our next class. And so we hope we cook together again soon. Thanks for cooking today. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, thanks.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
Kelly. Bye, Rue. Bye, Veronica. Bye, Sheila. Bye, Eve. Bye, Molly. Bye, Sophia.
Okay.
We'll see you guys soon, okay?
Everybody.
All right. Bye, everyone.